and
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, it's me, Mitch, and here I am with my finger on the button. Good to see you. While I wait for people to enter the room, It's time. So, here I am. And I'm going to drink it because I got it. You do the same. Little creatine laced coffee this morning, my second cup. It's working out great for me. Hopefully for my friend Barry Simon as well, who started this morning coffee regimen thing. How are you, my friends? Good to see you all. And it was good to see you over in Kelsey's chat. I don't chat much in those things, but I did chat a little today, especially when the topics of cigars and coffee came up and jumping out of airplanes. Kelsey had a good guest this morning. I enjoyed that. And nice show. I like Kelsey's show. I don't know how he can always be so positive. I've never heard the man complain about anything. That's like the antithesis of Mitch. I seem to be pointing out all of the dangers and hazards and potholes and wanting to make people aware of the nonsense and the propaganda so that we can make sure that that we are aware of them so we can avoid them, because they're traps and it's so easy to fall into those things. But when Kelsey said, I was at the Corona cigar bar yesterday having a cigar, I went, yes, attaboy. Don't sweat the small stuff. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple, like he said. And I agree with it. There's so many harmful things out there in this world that are way worse than puffing on a cigar or drinking coffee. I don't know. I tried giving it up, but it just felt like there was something missing from my day when I didn't have that first coffee in the morning. I don't know if that's cultural, that's a certain kind of addiction. It's a habit. We have habits too that aren't really addiction, they just are habits. We have all of it dictating how we handle every day. And as a pilot, as a fellow pilot, most pilots have a very distinct view on jumping out of airplanes. And we have basically two sayings. I didn't invent these. These have been around ever since I first started flying. And that's a long, long time ago. I got my first pilot's license in 1969. By 1970, I had a commercial pilot's license, instrument rating, multi-engine rating, flight instructor rating, instrument flight instructor rating. By 1970, when I was 23 years old. So flying has been a part of my life, and we pilots say, why the hell would anybody want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. And I'll drink to that. The second thing we used to say may sound a little off color, but I have to say it like it was. We would say there are only two things that fall from the sky. First are fools, and the second is bird shit. And that's how most pilots feel about jumping out of the airplane. So, Kelsey, if you're listening to this morning, heed those thoughts, because you, my friend, are a pilot. A pilot. And that's how most pilots feel. We'll fly the jumpers up to altitude. And some of these pilots that fly these skydiving groups are amazing pilots. They're amazing pilots. And one of the challenges of these pilots is get on the ground before the jumpers do. And they do that. And they might go up to 10, 12, 13,000 feet. And as soon as the jumpers are away, they dive in a circular spiral dive right back to the airport and actually can land the plane and taxi off the runway before the first parachute hits the ground. It's amazing, amazing to see. I know that because I had the opportunity to ride at the DeLand Airport, which is near Orlando, and that was a mecca for jumpers. I had an opportunity to ride in one of these turboprop airplanes that they used to take the jumpers up, and it was such a thrill to come diving out of the sky. And as a pilot, I said to myself, this is probably more fun than actually jumping out of the airplane, and one hell of a lot safer, although the safety record of most skydivers is tremendous. I don't really view it as that hazardous. And Kelsey's guest had 2,500 jumps. It sounded like he had one close call. And he described it when his eyesight almost went out. And he was very, very lucky to get enough peripheral vision back to actually land. That would have scared me out of skydiving for the rest of my life. And the older you get, the less brave you are when it comes to risking your life. I gave up motorcycles years ago. I gave up flying years ago because the thought of just exposing myself to even the slightest chance of a serious injury, busting yourself all up, it's not something that I think I want to deal with. I did my share of daredeviling in my younger years, and luckily got it out of my system. Luckily. Nelson, good morning, Nelson. How are you? Nelson says, I saw the leg fractures at the hospital in DeLand. Yeah, you live right near the DeLand Airport, and you know you're always seeing these people falling out of the sky. And yes, there are a lot of minor injuries that aren't fatal, but occasionally, and it's happened at DeLand, somebody's equipment fails, and I think there may have been one or two people that have survived a fall with no parachute, but that is not something that you can count on. If you're falling out of the sky and you pull the cord and the parachute doesn't open, and then you pull the cord on your reserve parachute, and it may get tangled up in the mess that was left from the failed first parachute, and then you have no parachutes. And terminal velocity is 120 miles an hour. That's the speed that we'd fall out of the sky with no parachute. 120 miles an hour, slamming into the ground or into anything at 120. Very few people survive a car accident at 120 miles an hour, unless you're a NASCAR driver and you got all the safety gear on and roll cages and everything else. And not for me. But evidently, what was his name? Kevin? Evidently, Kiltz's guest, he finally realized that and said, no, I don't skydive anymore. Good on you. Good on you. Anyway, hi, Nelson. Good morning to you, my friend. Good to see you here, too. Okay, here we are. Here we are. Let's see who was here first yesterday. Mike Seeley. Mike, you changed your YouTube name from Mike United Carnivore Seeley, all one word, back to United Carnivore. Good on you. That makes it very easy for people who don't know you to parse. And the word parse means to put the spaces where they belong, separate them into something that look like words instead of an alphabet jumble. So good on you. Lady June checked in. Good morning to you, June. Good to see you. And Mike Seeley Sr., Mike's dad, Mike and I shared a cigar on my back porch yesterday morning. He came here to pick up the chairs that he brought, the folding chairs from the meetup, which was great fun. Great fun. Great fun. I'm dressed up warm today. You can see that I'm wearing a sweatshirt over a t-shirt. I have my sweatpants on. This may be the last day of this. I think tomorrow it's finally going to get up to normal here in Florida. But it's been pretty chilly. And that's not unusual for March. Not unusual at all. I'm feeling great this morning. I'm feeling great. I always love it when I feel great in the morning. Pop out of bed, got up about 5 o'clock, had a little computer work to do, got that out of the way, set up for a live stream, went outside with my MCT oil and butter, coffee. I call it a latte, but it's not. Drank that, took a few puffs on a morning cigar, which I'll finish later. It wasn't too cold out there this morning. Watched the entirety of Kiltz's show, and I admire him so much. I find fault with some of the things he does, and I'm sure he finds fault with some of the things I do, but it's not fault. It's just differences in our interpretation of life, that's all. Everybody's entitled to their own. But I've never seen a guy, and it's why I admire him so much. I've never seen somebody who can be so positive in public virtually all of the time. All the time. I couldn't do it. I just can't do it. The reality of all the evil in the world keeps coming into my thoughts. I'm like a Paul Revere. I'm driven to point out subtleties to people, especially my friends, that may harm them. Traps they may fall into because they're so clever these days. And I don't know if that's good or not. It does cause me some stress. But I also truly believe that stress is a normal part of life. And I'm sure Kiltz has his share too. But he doesn't show it. He doesn't show it. And it's one of the reasons I admire him so much. And I do admire him. And I do count myself lucky to be considered his friend. His friend. He has a lot more friends than I do. Probably because of his positive attitude and his just involvement in virtually everything. He's everywhere. Everywhere all the time. I don't know how he does it. But that's why I admire him. Lucy, good morning to you. Hello, everyone. And Chris Swain from Australia. It's tonight already, so he says, evening, Mitch. Good evening, Chris. Rick, good morning. Rick got a lot of mentions on Kiltzy's stream. Every time iguanas come up, Rick comes up. And Rick is a prolific participant in all of the live streams that he watches. And good for him. That's great. Good to see Rick. Great. Tammy Petarch, good morning. Yow Mitch Fitz. Good morning to you. Bride's Biscuit is here. Good morning to you and family, she says. Lambs. Hello, Lambs. And Oh, yeah. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised lambs hit it at exactly 7 a.m.? Kathy says, question. I see this just came up right over here on the chat side. I think that people who are so upbeat, like Kelsey, are born that way. How wonderful. It is, but I think Kelsey evolved into that. I don't think when he recounts his youth with the gangs and getting in trouble, I don't think that that's the way he started out. I think he had the capacity to be upbeat. I think that's probably in his genetic makeup. But I think that he evolved over a lifetime. I wasn't always as cynical as a young man. I wasn't born cynical. It was just being exposed to so much, and he has found a way to just be positive, upbeat, and really inclusive to everybody, no matter what. That's great. What a human quality that is, and something that I think we would all, including me, like to be able to do. But reality is my world. I don't hide from things. I try to defend myself or figure out a way to make sure that those things at least don't affect me. And I really have always wanted to save the world, which is a great goal, but an impossible thing to achieve against the number of people who just don't care who they hurt as long as they enrich themselves. So everybody's got their own calling, I suppose. And we all evolve with different attitudes based on the experiences of our life. And my life, as it's just exposed me to too many of the bad people that have affected me, given me PTSD in a lot of cases. So I'll be Paul Revere running around, ringing the bell, warning that the bad things might be coming. Pay attention and watch out. And I think that's maybe not a good way to be 100% of the time, but you gotta keep your eyes open in this world and learn to recognize the absolute nonsense when it happens. CB was right on Lambs' tail this morning at 7 a.m., as was Lori Weitzel. Good morning, Lori and Brendan McIntyre. How are you? Morning, everyone. Don't let your meatloaf, always good words to live by. Rick, good morning to you. Loretta Nadow is here. How you doing? And Kathy says, hello, meat people. Yes, sir. Yes, and also at 7 o'clock, Sean, 1977, Gene Sohm, good morning to you. Barry Simon, good Friday morning, Mitch and all. Good morning, Barry. How are you, my friend? Sandy Blythe, good morning. Danny in Boston is here. Good GM from Lizzie. Good morning, Lizzie. Chuck Super Tunes is here. Good morning to you. And it appears, if you look at the green down here at the bottom, Rough Carnivore joined the private community. Thank you. Thank you. Or members community. Let's say that. That word, I hate the word private because I'm not ever trying to exclude anybody. We had a kind of a lightly attended live stream last night, but we had a nice little panel. There's only three of us. It was just Rick, Peter, and me. But Ellen was in the chat, and a lot of people were in the chat. And it was nice. It started off a little slow, but there's just so much of this carnivore stuff going on that everybody can't be everywhere at the same time. And everybody's feeling it. Everybody who has live streams is feeling that they see less and less participation. my morning live stream, like Kiltz's, is pretty steady, and I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that. Got 82 people now. At this time in a live stream, about 20 minutes in, on the one I was watching from Kiltz, I had about the same number of people, and it usually topped out at 100, 110, and we make it up there too. So it's nice to have a loyal bunch of friends that come and visit every morning. And I'll drink to that. Yes. Yes. So, Chuck, good to see you this morning. Who else we have? Steve Rogers, Captain America, superhero from Kansas City, Missouri. And good to see you, Rex Ford. Good morning, Mitch. CB says, beat you out. Yeah, you gotta be on the ball to beat Lambs. Or Robbie Autry as well. I don't see him this morning. He must not be able to make it. So Rick's laughing. Yes, I agree. And Barry says, I'm just finished my second cup with creatine. I am doing mine right now, Barry. So you and I are synchronized this morning. And I asked Barry to let me know, in a week or two, whether he actually starts to recognize it. Might take you. Barry did the front-loading creatine. There's two ways to start creatine. Creatine is a compound that basically, when you supplement it, we've talked about this, is basically designed to build up the level of creatine phosphate in your cells. It's not something like most medicine or drugs that you take and it goes and does its thing immediately. Like a prescription that says, take 3 times a day with meals. I mean, the timing of most drugs is important. It's important. Doesn't matter with creatine. That's at least my interpretation of it. Just get it in your body, 5 grams a day, and over the first, say, 20 days, they say, there's a level of creatine in your, that's a normal supply of creatine, because we all have creatine phosphate in our cells. We get creatine from pretty much every animal product that we eat. And the problem with aging is your creatine levels will drop, and the number of mitochondria that you have in all your cells will decrease. This is part of normal aging. And the amount of energy that each mitochondria can produce will decrease. So especially important for people as they age, over 50, over 60 and on, is supplementing this creatine, and more people do it. Younger people, like Kiltzy's guest this morning, supplement creatine because that's how it got started. Bodybuilders discovered, younger bodybuilders discovered that they got an extra 10 to 15% boost in the energy they had to do that extra rep, to run that extra mile when they normally would have failed. And that's the job of creatine phosphate in the cells. It's kind of like the backup battery that's there when a cell phone dies. And you can increase the level at any age by supplementing it. And that's why we do this. And that's why I think it's especially important for us old farts. And I notice the difference, not only in energy, but in mental clarity as well. And that is probably the best thing you get out of it, because you're not always working out, but your brain is always working. So I think that's helped me get my balance back sooner. I know it kind of improves my eyesight a little bit, and I never have any brain fog, and I always consider myself to be sharp as a tech, as sharp as a 79-year-old tech can be. And that's good enough for me. I don't expect to live forever. I don't expect, but when I live, I certainly want to be mentally sharp and physically able to do the things I need to do to the best of my current circumstances, which is now still the long process of having my brain reestablish the connections to all of those physical functions like my hand and balance and walking and eyesight and everything else that I lost, that died and were destroyed by a tiny little blood clot that caused a stroke. It happens fast. It happens in seconds. It takes years to come back, but that's the amazing part of our physiology. We have what's called neuroplasticity, which allows our brains to actually rewire themselves. How great is that? How great is that? Good morning, Peter. How you doing? Good to see you. Rick, imagine trying to jump out of an airplane smoking a cigar. It's been done. I'm sure it's been done. It's a little windy for that. You could bite down hard. I don't think the cigar would stay lit, but I will guarantee you someone at some time, somewhere, has actually tried that. There are very few things that people haven't tried at least once. But I don't think it's such a great idea. Jerry Voitish, good morning, Jerry. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. Good morning from Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. Terry is here. Hi, Terry. Terry P. Just getting my coffee. Good for you. Good for you. And Karen. Karen is here. Good morning, Karen, from Lakeland, Florida. We enjoyed seeing Karen at our meetup last week. And it's very nice to finally, in my mind, put together a name, a screen name, a YouTube name, and a face. And Karen, that girl can eat. Holy mackerel. She was sitting right across the table from Mike Seeley and Rick. Two bottomless pits, hollow legs. People would eat 5-6 pounds of food a day. I've never seen anybody. And Karen was keeping up with them. Like a champion, like a champion. The crowd loves it, yes. Congratulations, Karen. I hope you're not blushing or getting a little red in the face there. And come in to our live streams in the evening. Log in, come in and join the conversation. We know who you are. We'll enjoy having you there. So many people just don't. I don't know what they're afraid of or embarrassed about, but come in tomorrow night, Saturday Night Live, 7 o'clock, open to everybody, member or not. Just come in. Don't make me sit there wondering, come on, somebody, please come join me. I got nothing to talk about. I need you to have a conversation. I can only I'm alone most of the time, so I talk to myself, not out loud, but in my head all day long. I really enjoy at least the interaction with my friends, and I don't know what you're afraid of. Maybe me. I won't bite, I promise, or insult you. And that's true. Bacon Runner, Donna Ray, good morning. Happy equinox. It is. Right around, I don't know what hour it happens, but it is spring. It is spring. It is that point in the Earth's orbit around the sun where you're exactly at the midpoint between the dead of winter, between the shortest day and the longest day, between the cooler temperatures and the warmer temperatures, depending on the hemisphere you're in. And they call that the equinox. And that's right now. So, in honor of the equinox, allow me to wax poetic for a moment and recite a small poem to commemorate the first day of spring. And this poem came out of the Bronx, New York. And it's very simple, and it goes. Do I need a little music? Nah, that's right. Spring has sprung. The grass has riz. I wonder where the boidies is. One of my favorite pieces of intellectual poetry. Today's springtime. I don't know if they officially call it today or tomorrow, the 20th or the 21st. Sometimes it goes back and forth. I didn't look to see if it's officially, but I'll take the word that it is the equinox, and we'll celebrate springtime this morning. Hopefully, winter's over, and March will be done with pretty soon, and we will start to get hot down here in Florida again. I really like this time of year because it's not too hot. It's just right. Just right. Who do we have here? Coach Juliet Edens. Hiya, Juliet. How are you this morning? Morning, Mitch and friends. Usually I listen to replay at 7 a.m. my time. Glad to make it live for once. Good to see you. Nicer weather and birds are chirping. Yes. Yes. That's where the boidies is. They're out there now. And boy, are they noisy down here. We got big birds that just scream. These big sand cranes. People go, what the hell was that? That's right, Jerry. Why jump out of a perfectly good airplane? And who else have I missed? Hey, Papa Carnivore, Pana. Yeah, there you go. When Mitch gives up cigars, I'll give up diet. You know, we can all have a little vice and we're going to still live. It's not going to cut our life shorter. We know if we're benefiting from carnivore. We can have, like Kilsey always says, he's going to have his ice cream. He's going to have a French fry now and then. Going to smoke a cigar now and then. He's finally woken up and decided he can have the coffee that he loves every morning. And you got to do something. You got to enjoy something about your life that just relaxes you. And so many of these habits relax us. That's the greatest benefit for me of puffing on a cigar. It calms me down. It lowers my stress levels tremendously. There's something just so relaxing. And I don't consume cigars. Just ask Mike Seeley. He came over to my house yesterday morning to smoke a cigar. Well, he lit up his cigar. I lit up my cigar. I'd just gotten started on my cigar, and he'd already smoked his entire cigar, lit up a second cigar. And he still finished that second cigar around the same time I got done with my first one, because I'm not always sucking on it, which is a habit that most people who haven't been smoking cigars for 55 years, like I have, they consume the cigar. They don't slow down and smell the roses, although they don't smell like roses. But just holding the thing and putting it down, let it go out. I relight my cigar constantly because it goes out because I'm not puffing on it. And I can drag out a cigar for 3-4 hours. Most of that time, I'm not puffing smoke, and I don't ever inhale any smoke other than secondhand smoke. And we're all doing that from morning to night with all the pollution and car exhausts and crap in the atmosphere. Whether you're smoking a cigar or not, you still have to deal with all of that stuff that you are inhaling, secondhand, whatever it is. And the reality is that I think it's a net health benefit. And I'm not going to give it up because I think it helps, especially in this stressful world, and especially with my disposition to get stressed out about all of the scrap that I see every day. That's just me. And like I always say, I'll do me and you do you, and I'm not trying to change you. Just show you what I do, and if it works, take a clue from that. Lewis is here. Good morning, Lewis. I didn't see you check in. There he is. Lewis says, good morning. Hi, Lewis. I'm trying to see who I did. And Nelson chimed in this morning. Always good to see. I didn't see Kiltzer here this morning, but you never know who's lurking in these things. You never know who's watching, who hasn't made their presence known. I always assume that there's a lot of people out there, maybe people that don't like me, that are watching and don't really say much. So I do appreciate those of you who do participate. That'd be like, because like going to a party and just standing in the corner, not talking to anybody, not even really making your presence known, and just watching everybody else have fun. That's okay for a lot of people. I do that most of the time when I watch somebody else's live stream. I just watch because I do my own live streams and get plenty of time to interact with my friends. Sometimes it's just relaxing, not to constantly be trying to type on the tiny little cell phone keyboard or use voice typing, which never comes out exactly right. And you end up posting things that are very strange sounding, unless you go in and correct them all in advance on that tiny little keyboard, which is more work than just typing it in the first place. So I look at my friend Peter, how he manages to hand type all of this stuff as much as he posts. And I say, wow, that's talent, man, to type that fast and accurately on a cell phone keyboard. You really got it down. And he's had plenty of practice. He's had plenty of practice. Everybody says hi to Dr. Nelson, and everybody's saying hi. Thomas is here. Hi, Thomas. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you this morning. CB says, Nelson, you're supposed to be off sick today. I see you're playing hooky. You're fired. That's funny. And here's Nelson telling us about that leg break. I hope you feel better, Nelson. I hope you really do. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Rick. Flying is safe. It's the landing that is dangerous. And another pilot little anecdote that we have is pilots will say, any landing that you walk away from was a good landing. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. If you can walk away from a landing, I don't care how ugly it was, and not break you or your airplane, that was, you got to consider that a good landing. Mission was accomplished. Oh, we're talking about Topo Chico, and Thomas chimed in. Mitch, what motorcycles have you had? Oh, wow, I have had so many. Sean, I've had so many motorcycles. I've had, my first motorcycle was in like 1967. No, it was before that. I was in high school. I graduated high school in 64. So I bought this. I had a Yamaha YDS2. It was a 250cc little rocket ship. That was my first motorcycle. And I've been in love with them ever since. And I've had, God, 20, 30 different motorcycles. I've had all the different Harleys. I've had my last motorcycle that I finally gave up when I decided, not going to risk my life anymore. Too many distracted drivers, too many, just too many kids on cell phones not looking at what they're doing, pulling out in front of motorcycles. That I am not going to risk the rest of my life crippled up from some stupid 16-year-old that can't stay off his cell phone and just got his driver's license. So I gave it up. And I kept the motorcycle for the longest time and just sold it. And let me show you a picture of my last motorcycle. I can do that. If, for some reason, I had to speed up, I had to get my hard drive where those pictures are to actually wake up, start spinning. So give me a second, and we'll see if it works, or if my computer isn't working so hard that I can't even open the file. Come on, folks. Where are you? There it is. Okay, let me see if I can find a picture of my last motorcycle. And you ready? This was my last motorcycle. That is a 1800cc, 109 cubic inch Suzuki CRT 109. Probably one of the fastest and most powerful motorcycles I ever had. It was huge. It was a big cruiser. It would go 0 to 60 in 3 or 4 seconds. You'd be at 100 miles an hour before you knew it. It was a rocket ship disguised as a cruiser, as a big cruiser. And I had that for a lot of years. I loved that bike. Rode it all over the place. It still looked new. The day I sold it, it still looked new. But that was my last motorcycle. So another phase in my life that you have to accept as you get older. Been there, done that. And I certainly wouldn't have given it up permanently had I not had the stroke. I would have occasionally gone out on it for a ride, which is what I did for many years. But after the stroke, I finally decided, let me sell this thing and not think about motorcycles ever again. So I hope that answers your question. I used to love bikes. I loved airplanes. I loved boats. I loved anything mechanical. I flew. I scuba dived all over the world. I did all of that stuff. I lived a life where I have no regrets whatsoever. Let me show you another picture here. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, I got so many pictures. Here's a picture of me. Let me make this. Try to position it on the screen here where you can see it. The whole picture. This is me on let me get rid of this too. This is me at one of these big bike rallies for charity, toy run at Christmas time, and I used to go to these things all the time, and that was me on that big Suzuki pulling out of the Merritt Square Mall parking lot where hundreds and hundreds of motorcycles met to do this toy run for charity, and that was me. My son took the picture because he was following me on his motorcycle, and the two of us got a chance to ride together. I used to do all those things that I could. That was when I was a young man. There's that same motorcycle in my garage, and that picture was taken at least 10 years ago. So I had that bike for a long time, and I really loved it. And it broke my heart to get rid of it. It's not just getting rid of something you like, but it's basically admitting to yourself, you know, I'm old, I just can't do that anymore. That's the toughest part of aging. I mean, I could sit here for days and show you pictures of me with some of my toys that I used to have. I loved that. There I am. Look at me. Look at how young I was. Can you see that? That's a decathlon airplane. It's named Decathlon. It's a fully acrobatic airplane. I used to fly that thing. This picture was taken at the Sun and Fun Fly-In, God knows how many years ago. There's good old Mitch with my toy. I have so many memories of my youth and everything I've done that I don't even have a bucket list anymore. I don't have a bucket list. There's nothing. And that's a good thing. I had my share of disasters and got ruined a few times financially, but overall, I can look back on my life and I see a life that I am not ashamed of in any way, and a life full of adventure. Full of adventure. So now, if I can't do that stuff anymore, I might watch a video, because I have loads of videos that I took and movies from everything, from the travels to the diving and to the boats, and brings back fond memories, which allows me to be, at least overall, a happy guy. And a lot of people don't think I'm happy, but I'm as happy as I could be at my age. I don't miss the things that I thought I would have in retirement, but I don't have. I don't miss it. In fact, I may be more content and relaxed at this age than I've ever been. So, we all evolve. We all evolve. Our lives evolve and unfold one way or the other. Not to make this only about me, I want to make it about you. So let's get back to this. Okay, who is Gilream? I didn't say hi to you. Good morning. Rode motorcycles too in my 20s. Escaped relatively unscathed. It's not smart. I laid him down a couple of times, man. I'm lucky I never got a serious injury. I did get a few scrapes, but I always wore a helmet, even though there's no law in Florida to wear a helmet. I think that riding a motorcycle without a helmet is just the height of stupidity. And I used to wear a leather jacket and always long pants. Very rarely did I ever ride without protection. Motorcycle boots, big heavy leather boots, because breaking your ankles is one of the first things that happens to you if you have to lay down on a motorcycle. Whenever I flew that decathlon, the airplane I just showed you, I wore a parachute. In fact, you had to wear a parachute because the seat in the airplane left room for about 5 or 6 inches of parachute behind you. I always wore a 5-way harness in that airplane because it was an aerobatic airplane. And I spent my share of time hanging from the seatbelts upside down in that airplane. I loved it. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I'm up to 7:09 in the chat. Only 40 minutes behind. Wow, what do you think of that? Tropical Caper, somebody new. How are you doing? First timer, do you know how the land got its name? No. And it's not by the sea. It is definitely inland. No, I don't know how the land got its name. Was it named after somebody? Does anybody know? Who is this? Good morning, Mitch. It is Wayne Herman. Good morning, Mitch, and all my friends from Lake Gaston. How are you? Everybody's talking to Nelson. Nelson says, thanks, everyone. And this one I talked about. Yeah, he may, some of the way we behave is certainly in our genetics and epigenetics, and affects the way we are and the attitude and the way we evolve. The way we evolve. Okay, and wow, it's already almost 10 till. Hours just fly. Everybody's doing what you normally do. There's that new member. Thank you. I think I've said hello to everybody that's here. Here's somebody new. PPI 57, good morning from Ontario. Well, good morning to you. Good morning to you, and welcome. Welcome. Good to see you here this morning. Pardon my silence while I scroll through these. I'm going to try to scroll faster because we've got 10 minutes left. I don't want to miss any QQQs. Some of them are sometimes very important. And I'll look out for some new people that I haven't said hi to. It's going to be one of those mornings. It is Friday, TGIF. This is a huge cup, and there's still some in it. I better scroll faster. Now I'm up to 732. Okay, we're closing the gap. Yes, that's true. That's true, Sandy. Kills likes a dirty martini now and then. And that's the neat thing about the human body. We have been fighting toxins and poisons since the beginning. We have immune systems. We have biological pathways to process and eliminate toxins. We are, let's say, we are built to protect ourselves in so many ways. And it's not the toxins that are causing all the health problems we have. The dose is the poison. And I truly believe that. We're built to handle a certain level of plant toxins, a certain level of poisonous chemicals. Most of them from plants. It's the fact that we become addicted to the sugars, and we are eating 100 times as much as we basically have the physiology to detoxify ourselves. So the dose is the poison. And if, like Kelsey, you say, you can eat it once in a while, you're the only one that will know and be honest with yourself to define what once in a while means to you. And when that once in a while gets to be every 2 hours you need a sugar fix, then you have to be grown up enough to admit to yourself, whoa, I am an addict. But if you can do it once a month, and it doesn't, you don't get, let's use the martinis as an example. You don't get dirty martini, what they call creep, where you start out doing it once a month, and before you know it, you're doing it once a week, and then before you know it, you're doing it every day, and then you're doing it 5 times a day. If you don't try to rationalize that away and not actually notice that it is destructive and you have a problem, then nobody can help you. And that's how addictions work. They allow you to rationalize. So this happens to you, and you don't even notice that it's happening to you. That's where the problem lies. God, my cell phone is dinging away. Barry Nelson sent me an email. He said, Dr. Nelson's wife broke her leg. Oh, it isn't Nelson that's sick. It's his wife broke her leg. She isn't the one that's jumping out of airplanes and delaying, is she? Oh, okay, I didn't catch that. Well, Nelson, give her my best, and this too shall pass. But I'm sure it's not pleasant in becoming immobile. I can tell you all about what it's like to not be able to do. A good thing about a broken leg is the cast heals up faster than what I had to go through. But eventually, it all heals up. It all heals up, and you get back to normal. But Barry, thanks for bringing that to my attention. Appreciate it. At least somebody's paying attention here. Terry said, Mitch, I was watching a review on the WeVac seal. I'm going to look at one. Seems to, it is the best, or as good as it could be. The thing is built. Let me use an expression that, again, it's maybe a little off color, but sometimes there's no better way to say it. It is built like a brick shithouse. If you've never heard that before, it means substantially. It is commercial quality. It's one of these things that you could buy and it will never wear out. None of us is going to vacuum seal. I had a commercial quality vacuum sealer when I had my restaurant 20 years ago. But, I mean, that thing, we still didn't use it all day. But we vacuum seal all kinds of stuff. And that thing never, but that thing cost thousands of dollars back then. This thing is indeed, now, if you got the counter space for it, it's not something you're going to want to be moving around a lot. It's heavy. It is a commercial piece of equipment. And as important as the vacuum seal, let me point this out, the bags, the consumables, oftentimes end up costing you more than the machine that uses them. The greatest single example of that is like an inkjet printer. They give you that, you know. They give you the printer for a couple $100, and then you got to pay a couple $100 just to get 3 replacement cartridges, which last a few months. And you end up, that's a business model. A business model. Many things use that business model. Gillette invented it, and we call it the Gillette model. You give them the razor for free and then sell them razor blades forever. Cell phone companies adopted that business model. You give them the phone cheap and charge them a fortune every month so they can use it. Well, at least with the WeVac vacuum sealers, their consumables, the bags, are like 20% the cost of, not save 20%, but about 20% the cost of the ones they sell for the food savers in a consumer packaging. You get these big boxes, big, huge boxes, hundreds of pre-sealed on the bottom bags, and they're not marketing boxes. They're just brown cardboard boxes, and you get hundreds of them for $20. You know, you stop worrying about, well, maybe I can reuse this bag. I only cut off the top. I'm going to wash it out and use it. You don't have to do that. They're cheap. They're cheap. They're disposable. And with that little commercialism here, with that link that I have to the WeVac website, and you use the coupon code OldGuy, you get a 15% discount on virtually everything they sell on that website. And they're all over the world. It's not just like Amazon. My Amazon stuff is only for people in this country. The WeVac site, they're everywhere. And they ship fast. They're a big company, and it's a great product. Or I wouldn't even talk about it. My problem now is I got too many WeVac things around here. I'm seriously considering having a little contest. The only problem I have as far as giving them away is getting them to the person that won. So, but we'll figure it out. But how many vacuum sealers? That one vacuum sealer I've been using, the old CV12, for 2.5 years, is like brand new. And it just keeps on working and never fails. That's the thing. All those commercial ones. I had so many times I put food in the freezer and it ended up, the seal failed, the air got in, and the food was ruined with all the frost. Never has happened in one of these WeVac things. So when I talk about a product, you better believe I don't think I'm misleading anybody. And there's certainly not, enough in it for me to try to, mislead anybody about any of this stuff. It's a great tool. I'm excited about how easy it makes and how much money I save when I do buy things in quantity, when they're on sale, and I'm able to have them last for a year and a half or more in the freezer. I use it the most often, believe it or not, for my chicken thighs. I buy those chicken thighs from Sam's Club in these big, heavy flats for, for really cheap. And I have to freeze them because when I buy them, I buy enough for a month or two at a time. And it takes me about 10 or 15 minutes to package them up into maybe 10 vacuum sealed bags. I put them in the freezer, and the day before I want to eat chicken thighs, which is probably a couple times a week, I take a bag out of the freezer, put it in the fridge, and it defrosts. And the next day I can eat it. So they're great deals. I don't care whether you got a cheap vacuum sealer or an expensive one. They're a tool that I think all of us can benefit from. And if you have no room for a big vacuum sealer, then even if you get a small one that you can put away, you're better off with it than without it. And that's my opinion. And let's see, let me try to get through here. Look for QQQs. We're at 8 o'clock. I have no incentive to end it exactly. So I think that Alia does that because I think something with the routines that translate your live stream into 100 different languages needs it to be less than an hour, which is why she's in a big hurry to get it done. I personally am not concerned about that, about having it translated. This is for my friends, and my friends are all here, and they understand me. I did it. I got to the end. No more questions. So thanks for coming, my friends. Thank you so much. Good to see you. I will see you again. Saturday Night Live, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Be there and come into the panel with us. And we'll enjoy ourselves. And somebody just chimed in and said, good morning, all. Marla, Kelly, you just made it. You just made it. Good morning to you. I guess that's what replays are for. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all this morning. I'm going to go enjoy my day, and I hope you enjoy your day. Little happy music. Take a minute or two. Say goodbye to your friends in the chat. And Tammy says that she's had a small, yes, you can get a small one and you can get them cheap and maybe it'll work or maybe it doesn't. The problem I had with the food savers is so many of them that I had a mechanism that you either had to clamp down on the bag before it would work or it had a slot. And this is what really got my goat. Had a slot that you had to get the edge of the bag straight and push it in the slot. And it had to trigger the mechanism. And once I sealed a bag or two, when it got to the third or fourth bag, evidently it might have been some food or some mess or some liquid, whatever it was, the thing wouldn't trigger anymore. And you had to keep pushing and pushing, and it wouldn't trigger. It became useless. And I threw at least 5 or 6 of those devices over the years, trying to find one that was reliable, sealed it well enough that the food didn't get ruined. I gave up. That's when WeVac contacted me and they sent me that first unit to review. I said, I'm not turning down a free commercial vacuum sealer, and I've been a fan of theirs ever since. So that ends the music. You've all said goodbye. Chuck says, oh no, the ending music. Pork on sale now at Winn-Dixie, says Rick. Okay, thanks for the tip. And Peter chimed in, Rick, no, but close to it. Chicken is from the Latino grocery store. Yeah, Peter was telling us a story last night about buying inexpensive chicken at Lauderhill, Florida. Sometimes, you got to wonder how far you got to drive to save $10. How much does it cost in gasoline and wear and tear on your car? Some people spend more money trying to save money than they actually save. But I think we're programmed that way. Anyway, thanks again for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you tomorrow night and again on Monday morning. I don't have any videos I'm planning to release. I am slowing down a little bit on the amount of time and energy I put into this whole YouTube adventure. But the live streams are becoming more and more the mainstay of what I do. Although they're not profitable, I don't care. I don't care. Until I see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.